All right, sweet chaos crew back in the house after a longer hiatus than I think any of us thought we were going to take, but we're back. And everyone seems like they've been cooking up some weird bullshit in the time that we were separated, which is exactly what I asked for. So gonna start with a super long recap. Our Chaos crew is having a buck wild time in the Soggy Court. While they managed to steal supplies from the burned down balloon factory and evade capture after setting the building on fire again, and sounding the alarm, they found themselves in a deep and unpleasant area of the swamp, but hopefully safe from creatures and prying eyes. That is until Flubs decided to run off from his watch to go investigate some will-o'-the-wisps and walked right into a spider lair. While you were able to defeat the spider, the party is running on very little sleep, and you all agree that you need a more practical home base closer to the court that allows you to work in the few short days before the wedding. Lady Morgort suggests that you lure away a specific bullywug, not particularly known for his intelligence, but who lives on the outskirts of the court. On your way back into the area, you run into none other than Sir Illig, who still thinks that Riven is the Alderheart assassin he hired to murk King Gullop. You renegotiate with him, and he gives you another day to complete the job, but binds Riven into a Fey pact for Lady Morgort to go with him after. With that out of the way for now, Flubs and a wildshaped Riven convince Ulfgunk that he's been invited to a building competition, which I... what do you call it? Named in hindsight, the Bullywug Build-Off. I don't know if we had come up with that, but it's like British Bake Off, Bullywug Build-Off. And so Ulfgunk accepts with one caveat. He needs a pet sitter for his sweet girl. The pet in question turns out to be none other than Star, Durlagron's missing displacer beast daughter, who is not awakened, and obviously incredibly dangerous. Yeah, Emma may need to restart. Not sure if she can still hear it. I'm gonna continue on because I know that Emma mostly probably wrote notes and watched it back. So Lady Morgort is pretty over it at this point and goes out to hunt, while an exhausted Greb has Riven help her make a sleeping potion in the hopes to sedate Star. Lady Morgort comes back with a large portion of a purple wyrmling, and you coat the meat with the sedative. Unfortunately, Riven absolutely beefs it, pun intended, and lets Star out of her catio. There's a bit of a panic, but Greb quickly draws her attention with her favorite ball that Durlagron gave you. You're able to get Star to eat the sedative-infused meat and only almost wake her up when you drop her, carrying her back up the stairs. Knowing that Star will be out for a few hours, you leave Lady Morgort there and nonchalantly walk back to the sinking palace in the hopes to get King Gullop by himself. Greb gives Flubs a potion that enlarges him, making him appear as if he's a dragonborn. And Riven opts into a giant frog wild shape and adopts the name Jeremiah the Blue Frog. Greb watches from afar as Flubs approaches the king and says that he's heard some nasty rumors that he think would greatly interest the soon-to-be King Gullop. The rumors do in fact interest Gullop, and he invites you to his private quarters. The king ushers Flubs and Jeremiah, into his boat, captained by none other than Grumple and Bloff, the two very stupid bullywugs who traded Sir Illig their boat for Agnon's brand. Gullop brings you to Bavlorna's cottage, which stands 3 stories high in the middle of the Soggy Court. You dock under the cottage and climb up the stairs into an absolutely disgusting room that is mostly filled with like a stagnant pool. The smell is abhorrent, and an unperturbed King Gullop takes you upstairs and says that he's heard of Sir Illig wanting to start some sort of revolution so that he can become king. And King Gullop states that he wants to be a big frog in a big pond and has his eyes set on Alderheart, but his bride will, of course, not let him leave of his own accord. Meanwhile, Greb disguises herself into a young female bullywug and circles the area trying to detect some magic. She sees that they've already started to set up the wedding venue, and it seems that the ceremony will happen on the shores of the proving ground, where they have seemingly set up some bleachers for an audience. Greb panics, trying to decide what she should do, not wanting to run after Riven and Flubs and blow their cover. She considers going back to meet Lady Morgort at Ufgunks and decides to poke around Trinket Bauble and Charm's shop, hoping to find an inn. Invisibly, Greb slinks over and examines the shop. Much to her dismay, there are no windows to the back of the shop, which would allow her to misty step in. So, Emma, you good now?
Yeah, it was suddenly started freezing before. Now it seems fine.
I was like, I'm gonna just move forward because I think Emma probably remembers all this. Okay, so we're going to return to where we last saw Greb. Well, we didn't see her per se, but nevertheless, wait and think of something clever to do.
Something clever. Well, probably smarter to, like, not bother with Bauble and Trinket. What do I do? I'm gonna... I think I'm gonna go back to where the party was going on.
Okay, so back to the Sinking Palace.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forget how much time I had left on my invisibility.
How long does it last?
It's been so long since I looked at this page.
You're like, ugh.
Where is it?
84 years.
84 years.
I would say a walk.
1 hour.
Yeah, a 1 hour. Okay, I would say a walk from where you were in the Sinking Palace to all the way at the end of the docks where Trinket Bauble and Charms is no more than a 20 to 25 minute walk.
It's minutes. Because it's one of my concoctions.
Oh.
Ooh, that changes things.
It's equal to a number of minutes to your artificer level, or until they attack or cast a spell.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. So
Okay.
I do believe that you took it like essentially like before you went over to go look at the hut like more quickly. So you probably have, I'll be generous and say 3 minutes left. And you essentially decide like, I don't have enough time on this clock to do anything useful except get myself into a whole heap of trouble. And part of it probably is that you are injured and exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, all right.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and... Does it look like there would be any guys that would be a part of Sir Illig's crew there anywhere?
Oh, well, you did see him and his crew.
You did? Well, didn't he leave?
So you saw Sir Illig and his crew when you guys were coming back this morning, and you and Riven ran into him. And they renegotiated the pact.
Yeah.
So you saw like a couple of his like cronies.
But he wasn't in person at the like soiree or whatever.
He was not
at, right?
currently at the Sinking Palace when you guys were over there.
I can't remember how many concoctions I've used already.
I think it's 3.
I've used 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because you use 1 to enlarge Flubs. And then you gave him another one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just used an invisible one.
Which he absolutely knows what it does.
No, I do believe you noted it as mysterious potion.
Mm-hmm.
Which even though I was like, write this down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can technically make at my level 6 of those, so I can make 3 more.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Okay, I will drink another one of the transformation potions.
Oh, to make yourself.
To make myself look like a bullywug again.
Yeah.
But this time, instead of a girl, I'm gonna try to look like
Oh.
a teenager,
Yeah.
maybe, that wants to be, like, recruited or something.
Okay. You turn into a shit-eating teenage boy bullywug. Okay. Describe the bullywug. who you think Sir Illig is some kind of knight. He kind of like resembles like how Lady Morgort looks. Go ahead and just make me either a perception or history to just be like, what was the vibe of the cronies?
I'll do history. That is...
You're exhausted also.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you, Nick.
Forgot.
You were like, oh, damn.
Hate to remind you.
But also, that your inner DM was like,
Been a long day.
14?
okay. One thing you will note with the 14, they did not have a uniform. And Sir Illig very obviously is very proud of his house colors and wears like a very audacious like tunic sort of dealio. And pretty much you would probably describe it as ragtag, and your impression of the Soggy Court is there are a couple people who are a little bit more blessed with brains than others. So you're just like, all right.
I think I would try to wear his colors in that case. And then, like, maybe just try to look like the son of one of the
Excellent.
ones I saw or something.
I will also note that Sir Illig has a last name, and it is Sir Illig of Muckstump.
Muckstump?
Yep.
Do I know that?
I would say he's probably said the full name. You've overheard him say the full name, or the Muckstump colors, or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. I'll wear the Muckstump colors,
'Kay.
and I'll go up to one of his goons.
It's like a really like nasty yellow, like a nice toxic yellow, and sort of like and a muddy brown, to be honest. It's not cute. I imagine that you have like long greasy hair and like a lot of acne.
Yeah. Very, like, limbs that are too long.
Too long limbs. You're not like, yeah, like you're just like gangly. And you're like rubbery almost. All right. You make your way, I'll say you make your way back to the Sinking Palace. It is much of the same as you left it. You kind of wildly look around for your group and don't see them. You kind of didn't really expect to, but like you kind of zen yourself a little bit, pop a potion, manifest this like troublesome youth bullywug. And you, I'll say, you do see one bullywug who is notably like taller and larger than the vast majority. Definitely nowhere near like where Ufgunk was, but a bigger bullywug. He is having a hushed conversation with a much smaller than average bullywug who looks, and again, he's a frog, so this is a little weird, but he looks weaselly.
Okay.
Like, he looks like
Sure.
he knows a guy.
Isn't there like a frog that's almost got like a pointy nose that like swims? What I'm talking about?
Oh, like in medieval?
Like in real life?
I've only seen that in like medieval paintings and such. There might be one like that.
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there is. Or there
Anything's
was.
possible.
Anyways.
Yes.
Pointy face frog.
Pointy face frog. Okay, and I'm gonna just gear up their names. Just so I can have that for myself. Are you gonna approach them right off, or are you gonna try and... I mean, how many minutes does your potion last?
15.
Okay, so you do have... If you have the inclination, you could try and like listen to their conversation a little bit, or you could just be like, nah, this is my guy.
Yeah, I'll just go up.
Okay. You're like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
You see that they're pretty, like, they look at you and, let's see here. Well, okay. They don't recognize, like, you don't see a look of recognition in their face. The sort of like weaselly one is super twitchy. He can like barely look at you. He's like darting his eyes all around. And he looks like he's gonna jump away at any fucking second. The other one sort of just like slow blinks at you, and doesn't read you as a threat. Oh, did Emma freeze? No. Oh, did I freeze? Fuck. All right.
This is annoying.
Hey.
That was bizarre.
What happened? What did you guys hear?
I think that was everyone.
Okay, that was, yeah, like I was like, wait. Okay.
Yeah.
I went from about
Weird.
30 millisecond ping to like a 5-second ping.
Huh.
which is
Aliens.
wild.
Yep.
And that wasn't
All
just
those
me that time.
drones.
Yeah, no, I
I
was
thought
like,
it was.
fuck, am
I thought it was
frozen?
just me, and then I pulled up stream, and Dee was just standing there like, "Well, just waiting for these three."
I just was like, at first
Yeah,
I
so
thought
I stopped
like Emma was
myself.
like thinking. She's like, what am I gonna say to this guy? Okay.
Yeah.
What was the last thing you heard?
He was really twitchy and couldn't look me in the eye.
Yeah, okay, so that's the small one, and then the larger one just sort of looks at you, and he blinks at you slowly, and he does not register you as a threat.
I'm gonna go up and just say, Sir Illig told me to meet him at the meeting place, but I don't remember where it is. Can you tell me?
Make a persuasion check. With disadvantage.
Please, sir.
Yeah,
You're-
-2.
You're great at those.
It's my very favorite whenever Emma's like, oh, hold on, my uncharismatic character. Because this is like one of her only ones.
That's gonna be an 8.
Okay.
Could have been worse.
Not the worst, but not great either.
The small one looks nervously at the big one. He's like, hey, Boltus, I'll see you later. I'll see you later. Okay, I gotta go. And he just bounces off so quickly. Boltus sort of just like rolls his eyes and he's like, sup, you know,
I'm just gonna look really dumb, just like
Right, yeah.
frog link at him. Like,
I ain't seen you around before, but a lot of folk in town for the wedding.
yeah, I am a cousin.
Right.
So,
Listen, kid. How old are you?
17.
Okay. Listen. If cousin Illig needs anything, he'll come get you at the wedding.
He said I was gonna be his squire, though, and that I needed to join.
He looks at you for a while. He crosses his arms. He like licks his lips. And he looks you up and down. You can see the clock is a turning up there. Like he's not that. He's like, And you also kind of feel like a lot of the lower bullywugs are not in the business of upsetting their hierarchy. Not gonna upset like the commander-in-chief. So he's like, well, tell you what, you come to Big Barkless midnight.
Okay,
I think we're doing something.
that's where I'm supposed to go. Okay.
Yeah. Over there, can't miss it. Big old tree.
Okay. Thanks. I'll just gangly walk off.
Yeah. He watches you the whole time, and you at some point have to just kind of like slip away and just hope that he lost interest at some point. From the sinking palace, let's pull up this. You see that there is essentially 2 rowboats that are being ferried back and forth between the sinking palace and the other side. The other side is where Ufgung's place is, and you will have to you have 15 minutes on this potion, or 5 minutes on this.
Yeah.
15 minutes on this potion.
Yeah, 15.
You know you're gonna have to scurry with a quickness in order to get on the ferry as this kid and without blowing your cover, essentially.
Yeah.
Again, like, while people keep saying there's a lot of folks in town for the wedding, it truly is 99% bullywug. You did see Trinket and Bauble, but
are any of them kind of like goblin sized, or are they all?
Yeah, they're kind of all. I said Ufgunk was like really tall, and you would say how tall is Greb? She's like 3, 4.
3'5".
Okay, so you're hobbit size. So I would say that there are. You definitely see some smaller bullywugs. You would say that smaller bullywug that you saw was probably between 4 and 4'5". You're like, he was taller than you. Although I think you can get a little bigger in disguise. You can get a foot bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So you were like right around his height, just at the point where he questioned your age, because you and again it's a little hard to tell, right? This is not like a race that you're super familiar with, and also that's kind of just the thing of a multiracial world of like all the different species age at different times, and it's sometimes you don't know because there's like 100. But yeah, you would imagine that a lot of them that you've seen are like younger. Some of them have really stupid outfits.
I was gonna say, are there any that like have like a scarf wrapped around their face or head at all?
Like Agdon's scarf or just like a scarf?
Just like a scarf.
Oh, okay.
Like their face covered.
Got you. Yeah.
Fashion wise.
The bullywug attire is very bizarre. It quite literally ranges from like this was maybe a potato sack once to like Marie Antoinette Rococo. Like that's the range of.
So I can wear whatever I want.
It's basically really you can wear. It's like a Ren fair, right? Like it's like there is literally something of anyone, and like it doesn't really seem like there's a. You're not sure if there's a store here.
Okay. In that case, I think I would try to find like a piece of cloth, like either a really big cloth napkin or like slice off some curtains or something.
Sure. Okay.
Or find like an unused tablecloth.
Yeah. I'll say you circled the sinking palace for like a bit looking for detect magic. I would imagine I did state that the sinking palace is like it's essentially in disarray. It literally looks like as if it's like a half destroyed, half rotting was once part of a palace. And so I would say it would be decently easy to find something that you could like make a shawl or something out of.
So I'll find that and then wrap it around my head.
It is a ghastly color. It's just like the wrong shade of red.
Perfect.
It's like almost like a peach red, and you're just like, I hate this. Does not go good with your skin.
Really clashes with like green.
Yeah, really like washes you out, but also like brings forth like all your like red, and you're like, ugh.
Oh. Okay. I'll just scuttle over to the boat and like pretend like I'm either really young or really old bullywug.
Okay.
Get into the boat, grab a pot, and sit with pot on my lap like I have a pot of something.
Okay. You get saddled with a older bullywug. He's like got hella wrinkles. He's got like a ginormous straw hat. Big old like piece of like grass in his mouth. Has essentially at one point looks like it maybe would have been like a band tee, but is now like a very short crop top, and like shorts that are like way too short, and he has like really stick thin legs, and they're held up by a shoestring.
Iconic. I love him.
All right, my name's Augustus. Get on up in here.
Thanks.
Oh, well, aren't you just absolutely adorable? And what side of the swamp are you from?
Play.
Oh, I see. Okay. And look, you got one of them Muckstump colors. I see. You must be like a cousin or a brother or a nephew. Oh, well, I'm from the Moss Crowns. Very, very, very widespread bullywug, and he literally does not shut up the entire time. You get a long history of several different bullywug clans. The Quick Tongues, the Moss Crowns, the Ribble Rumps, the Muckstumps, and the Bog Bottoms, and the Swamp Knights. And at some point, many of them have married and divorced and married into each other, and it is he's throwing a lot of names around as if you were going to understand all that, and you do a lot of nodding.
Yeah, just nods the whole time.
Go ahead and roll me a intelligence check with disadvantage to see how much you retain.
What was the second one after the quick tons?
Moss Crowns.
Moss crowns, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 1 and a natural 20.
Aww.
That's
The duality of dice.
You, Greb, it's been a long ass day. You're feeling
It's like just
pretty-
trying not to fall asleep.
You're like fairly nauseous. He somehow, because he's so animated when he's talking, he's rocking the boat hella, and he's also going kind of slow, so it's just like whoom, whoom, and you're like, oh my god. And he's just, and it's a mile a minute, and you're like, on a normal day,
I think I clutch pot as hard as I can, just
on a
trying
normal
not
day,
to
I feel
throw
like
up.
I could have gotten some of this. Today is not that day, and I get you're very lucky that you remember even the last names. He is really sweet though, and he's like, all right, well, I'll see you at the wedding. I'll see you there, and I'll make sure I save you a drink and a day. Bye. And you're like, and he whistles super loudly back over to the other side, and you're like, oh my god. You are now on the other side, and I'm gonna flip back to the boys. Meanwhile, you guys, and I'm gonna pop over, if you guys zoom out and go into Bavlorna's cottage, the map, it'll show you guys in the study.
Look at all those plates.
Dude, it's like hardcore
It's nasty in here, right?
Hardcore nasty. Flubs, you look longingly at the window that has definitely never been opened. So King Gullop has what he has essentially told you guys is that he would like to leave. He would like to leave to Alderheart. Now, Riven, you're a frog right now, but you know that this is a low-key, very tall glass to order / a nearly impossible wish. It is a very, very difficult journey through the wastelands, which you did, and barely made it. And you are a fairly seasoned adventurer. This guy hardly looks like he goes outside. So you're kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. Flubs, I would say it still dawns on you that, like, what he is saying is that there's some kind of magical binding of, I can't leave of my own accord. I am quite literally, like, this marriage is a fae contract with Bavlorna, right? On some level, that is what both of you, I think, are sensing. Now you know that the easiest way to deal with a fae contract is to kill at least one of the parties, which is kind of what you're planning to do with Sir Illig to get you out of the Lady Morgort pact. You can essentially infer, kill Bavlorna, get this guy out of the pact. You've already told him that Sir Illig is not on his side, and he doesn't really give a shit on whether or not he lives or dies. He just doesn't want to be here. You guys are in the room with King Gullop, and he has just finished telling you that he's like, I no longer, I would like to be a big frog in a big pond. And I wish to go to Alderheart.
Do they have, like, big ponds there? I'm not sure. It sounded kind of dry from what I've heard.
Well, and he goes over to the bookcase, and he pulls out I think it's an atlas, right? Like the book of maps, right? Okay. He pulls out like a Feywild atlas, and you're like, oh shit. Now you do, both Riven and you will see that there is a date on it, and the date is a bit ago. Like, you're like, that's at least 100 years ago. You're like, I'm not really sure how, like, you know, time works differently in the Fae, and so you're like, I don't actually really know what year it is here, but you're like, that's at least 100 years ago. He opens it up, and you see as he rifles through, you guys see there is a couple of things that you wish he had, like, stopped on a little bit more. One being the Palace of Heart's Desire, and then a couple other cities. One of them being the large tree that Sir Illig had sort of, like, projected to you guys that is now Brigand's Tollway. You would also notice that, like, the Queen's Bridge is depicted in the Palace of Heart's Desire. But he brushes past those very quickly, and he shows you a, albeit old, but a accurate picture of Alderheart. Riven, you're a frog. But so you're almost grateful that you can really mask your, like, reaction at this. I think it does bring some emotion to you to see Alderheart like, again, and it's a very, like, it's almost like a touristy map, right? Like, it's pointing out, like, all the greatest hits, and for the most part they're still there. Some of the more, like, historic, like, galleries and, like, art and seats of power, more historic buildings, things like that. Notably, there is no wastelands surrounding Alderheart.
So, even though I'm a frog,
Right.
Riven knows that That means that this map must be older than what he can remember.
Yes, it's showing the time before, and you're not 100% sure if I mean, King Gullop, you guys kind of like tune back into what he's saying. He's like, well, you know, it used to be a little simpler to get there. You could just pop on over for lunch. It's a bit more of a journey now. I was hoping to take one of the hot air balloons. That's why I really, well, I suppose you wouldn't know this. The hot air balloon was my company.
Oh.
I hired the greatest bullywug minds, all 4 of them, to engineer such a feat, and it took years. And I fear that I will never get that progress again.
What happened to the 4, like, really smart bullywugs? Like, are they all dead, or, like, could you still get them together?
Oh, well, yes, I did have to kill them. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So I could take all the credit and all the glory.
That makes sense.
It's just a power thing.
This seems like a gross oversight.
He just was like, murder them all.
We have hot air balloons. Why would we need more?
Well, I didn't really expect the factory to burn down. So now I'm left to wondering if they had any children, and they might be of age to take over their legacy if they're smart. But that's a whole bunch of homework I don't want to have to do.
An intriguing proposition, to be sure. I don't know if I can promise anything at this time. I feel like I have to converse with my colleagues and good old Jeremiah here. He assists me in some things. But we could put a pin in it.
Jeremiah licks his own eyeball.
You
Just
know,
inspirational.
you know, I highly recommend that you awaken him.
That's a good idea. Do you know anyone who does that?
Oh, of course. I know we have one of them druids. In fact, oh my goodness, what was his name? Blanc. Yes, Blanc. Got a bit of a skin thing. You'll know him when you see him. Fits the name perfectly. Anyway, I've had him around for ages. He does all my royal breeding for all my mounts. He's an amazing, amazing druid.
Is he here for the wedding, or he's like, taking a break?
Oh, of course. But he
cool.
very rarely leaves the breeding grounds.
I mean, why would you?
Why would he? It's really his passion more than his work.
Cool. Well, I will keep this Blanc in mind for any future experiments I may want to do with good old Jeremiah here. But I think... Oh, do we need anything else? You've been very helpful. Thank you, honestly.
I have let you in on a lot of secrets in our little meeting here. So I'm gonna need some assurances. I'm assuming
Mm-hmm.
you're getting out of town at some point.
I mean, I don't know, we're kind of thinking about it, but kind of a cool place. I mean, there's a bunch of water here, like... Go on.
Well, I guess I can only leave if something very unfortunate happened to my bride-to-be.
Yeah, that is true.
I think we understand each other.
Excellent. He extends a froggy hand.
Well, maybe we
I'm gonna make an intelligence check.
Okay. With disadvantage. I like how Nick is doing this to himself, by the way.
Well, we understand each other.
Shakes on it. Great. Flubs. What is your understanding of what you have shaken on?
My understanding is that he can't leave until Bavlorna is dead. And I have agreed to help him with that.
Okay. You feel a little bolt of electricity and like purple magic like pulse through your guys' palms, and you're like, well, and he's like, excellent. All right, well. He looks around and he's like, I'm sure Miss Bavlorna will love her beauty rest before her big day and just another 2 sleeps.
Is she sleeping tomorrow to prepare for like the big day?
I am being sent away, as it is tradition not to see the bride before the wedding. So I'll be
I've heard that.
I'll be in the my old bachelor pad, across the pond over there. So my sweet wife will be, besides all of our staff and random things that are in here, totally alone.
How sad.
She's just gonna be surrounded by so many people on that big day. He makes he's like, now, did you want that tour?
Oh boy, I mean that would be... We have some time, sure.
Riven, how much time, how long can you be in that druid shape?
That's a really good question. That's a great question.
What's your druid
never
level?
Had a better.
Never had a better question.
Well, it's technically 3.
That might be
But
an hour then.
An hour, okay.
Real question.
Unless you got some moon druid nonsense.
Yeah, true.
Could
It could be a little longer because of moon druid, and I'm not sure. It should say at the bottom of your sheet or whatever, though. But it's at least an hour, right?
I'll double check.
Okay.
Yeah, at least.
It's... I'm gonna say...
It is 1 hour.
It's been at least 30 to 45 minutes. You
That
guys
is
are...
true.
You're pushing up on this time here.
I love pushing the limits. It's great. We love that.
Jeremiah, do you need a minute in the little frog's room to refresh before this tour?
Oh, wonderful.
I don't know if that was a yes or no.
Is that a yes?
I think it was yes.
All right. Well, we can let Jeremiah
I'm so hung up on
downstairs
that
in the
map.
pool. All the frogs really seem to love it. He sort of like ushers you downstairs and sort of
I
like
wanna do that.
gestures to the preservation pool, which again cannot. So gross.
Nasty.
So gross. The lily pad looks like you could maybe trust it enough to put your butt on it. You're like, everything else, you're like, I do not want that to touch me.
I get one of those like really like light paper things at the place.
Yeah, you're like,
Yep.
King Gullop is sort of, he's very excited that he's like, maybe has like, he has more than he had a bit ago, right? So he begins to lead Flubs away. Riven, you can certainly like he's basically gonna leave you down here. He waves off the rest of the room and he's like, oh, Bavlorna has some, you know, knickknacks and DIY nonsense down here. She's always fiddling with things. Anyway, nothing important. He takes you back upstairs and he doesn't show you every room, but he shows you the ones that have balconies. Which reveals the aviary to you, as well as the kitchen. You notice that the kitchen has like a trio of cages on the balcony. Like there's nothing else. It's just like cages. And you're like, hate that. Don't know what's going on with that. Hate it so much. And you also, you're also at the dining room. These all connect at some point to the study. And he does not take you to the third floor, but he says that the third floor is off limits for Bavlorna only.
Does he motion in a general direction when he says upstairs is off limits? Or have I seen stairs that go upstairs?
You do. He essentially, there is a door right off the side of the study downstairs. You can kind of see it on the map that leads to the dining room, and in that hallway there's stairs that go up. It's like a spiral.
Right.
Yeah, right there.
Got it.
Spiral staircase. You guys can look on the balcony, and from each like area is mostly fog. From the aviary you can kind of see the sinking palace, like just like the broken dome. That's pretty much all you can see. And then from the balcony cages, you literally can't even step onto. It's just these 3 cages. You can basically it's almost like a sliding glass door, but you can basically like slide open the door both ways and like unlock the cages. They seem to be, you know, there's nothing in them at this time.
That was going to be a question.
Yeah, there's nothing in them at this time. But you're like, great. The dining room
1, 2, 3.
looks like the scene, the Mad Tea Party from Alice in Wonderland, but like if they just straight up never cleaned it ever. There's just like butter and jam and like condiments like everywhere. Like there's like half-eaten food. Like it's no one has ever cleaned or done anything in here. So gross. There's so many flies, so many bugs. You are really very, very nasty. Go ahead and just make me a perception check as well with disadvantage.
Am I also disadvantaged?
And no, Riven, you don't have exhaustion. Riven, you can just make a regular perception check if you want to like look on the first floor.
Da-da-dum. 15
Wait.
plus 2, 17.
Okay,
You know, Flubs is great at perceptions.
I know he is. So what do you get?
That's a 9.
9. Okay.
Worse.
Okay, with a 9, I'm gonna give you like while the cottage is like in the middle of the fucking swamp, the house is not quiet. You hear footsteps and banging and like yelling and like animal sounds. Like you hear a whole like, and not like constant or anything, but it'll just be like slam from like somewhere, and you're just like, what the like and King Gullop completely just unchanged to anything, but it is very disconcerting at all times, and you get the keen sense that it's not just King Gullop and Bavlorna in here. There's other staff or whatever have you, or wild animals or who knows what. It makes you very uncomfortable. Riven with a 17. You obviously notice that there's doors to let me count. There is 5 doors. One of the doors is to a very large outside balcony. The outside balcony would essentially put you completely south, and you are not able to see from here, but southwest, like a little bit in, is Ufgunks. So you're like, that's like the direction it's looking. It's a very large balcony. It's probably the largest balcony. It looks pretty damn unsafe. It looks like it's not load bearing. You also see that there's like a door to stairs that you did not take up. And I'll definitely say if you want to open any of these doors, like you absolutely can. It's a frog. I'm not going to make it super difficult, but you can like nudge towards the side door and you open it, and it's fully just like, how do I say? It's like a fire escape, like, but wooden rickety ass stairs. Again, the worst engineering you've ever seen. You would absolutely not. You're like, maybe Flubs can run up and down those stairs and not suffer any injuries. You're like, if I put one paw out of here as Jeremiah, like I will for show just crack those rickety stairs like off the side of the building. Do you want to open all of these doors or just some?
Well, I'm by myself.
You're by yourself. You're fully a frog.
Did I get the tour of the rest of the upstairs?
No, they just fully were like, here you go, Jeremiah, here's your and they said like pee in the pool.
I mean, originally my intention was like, hey, if you need a minute to, refresh your wild shape, this is where to do it, and then you can join us.
Your
but if
wild
he's just
shape
leaving you
will
there,
drop at some point. So that's also the, like, you're like, okay, I can hide, or I can like refresh my wild shape. You don't see anyone down here. You'll hear like footsteps and whatever like upstairs, but you're sort of like, well,
I mean, so being the only person down here, I have a couple of choices. I think I can just bebop out from being a frog and just wander around like normal because I'm not expecting company, or I could re-bop into being a frog.
Yeah, you could also do both those.
Hop around and well, first things first. As a frog, I'm going to use the little frog's room. I think I was told that it would adjust the pH levels of the preservation pool in like a beneficial way. So
make me a
whatever
perception
frogs
check.
For sure. Yeah. I was gonna say let's put
Where
some
in the
frog
preservation pool could use the pH drop the most?
There you go.
Is that what I'm perceiving? Is that what I'm
No. I'll tell you what you're perceiving in a second.
It's a 10 plus 2, it's a 12.
Okay. Water looked mad funky. Mad funky.
I'm gonna hop off the lily pad and I'm gonna make water in a little jar on the side of the preservation pool.
Okay.
We will adjust
You
pH
jump into the water.
when I'm not by myself. What?
You jump into the water?
No.
You jump onto the lily pad.
I was on the lily pad.
Okay, you're on the lily pad.
Yeah. Although I don't think my owl bear is synced because I'm still upstairs.
Okay, as long as you're on the lily pad.
Yeah, no, I thought.
Let me
I
just
went-
check my notes real quick.
For sure.
Okay, and you pee on the lily pad?
Well, see, now I'm thinking that maybe I'll just like use a cup or a spittoon or whatever situation.
You could find like a bowl or something.
Empty jar of
but-
peaches or something.
If I was able to get to the lily pad, can I get out from the lily? Can I get back up onto that walking way around there?
Yeah, I
Without
mean, you
making-
can jump hella as a frog.
Yeah, because that's what I was hoping to do. So I was like, after reevaluating the pH levels, what I can visually see from this preservation pool, I'm gonna see myself off this lily pad, and I'm gonna get into that corner over there down in the southwest corner of the room.
Okay.
And I'm
How long do you spend on the lily pad? This is important.
The lily pad, I was on it long enough to place one of those paper sheets, like the toilet covers.
Okay.
And I was just hanging out until they walked back up the stairs to go do that tour.
Okay.
But as soon as they left, I was mad out of there.
Okay. Make me a dexterity saving throw.
I love those. Those are my favorite. I don't have a -1. It's
Okay.
dexterity. It's an 8.
Okay. Cool. You're gonna take.
I kind of want to get the water now. But...
You're gonna take 12 acid damage.
Jesus.
That paper sheet did nothing. 12.
And then 12. And then please make a strength check.
Just to check.
Yes, not a saving throw.
Okay, that's fair.
All this just to pee in a jar.
Hey, that's a nat 20.
Emma, he's learning important shit right now. Like, you are learning things about the environment.
This is life-changing information we're gathering right
I think
here.
you guys are not picking up with what's happening. Okay, so you're like, oh, it burns, and you like immediately just like, nope, out of the pool. You look back and you see that the lily pad is now under a layer.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this was not the place to sit.
Are you still in your wild shape?
Now we know. I was.
Okay, you were now you're for show out of your wild shape,
now
right?
I'm for sure not.
Okay.
Yeah.
You literally you're like, ow, and you like jump, and like halfway through you become Riven.
Yeah, halfway through my leap.
And you kind of like land, you're like, ow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want
I
to
feel
open
like
any
a
of
little
these
bit.
doors?
after I've recovered from that embarrassment, which no one but myself
No
knows
one
about,
but yourself
one
saw,
witnessed it.
but it burns.
It burns and it also burns when I pee a little. So I walk over to the what is it, the right side of the room. I want to start with some doors over yonder.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of start pushing them open or pulling them open, whichever, and then just kind of taking a quick glance, little quick peek, just see what I can find out.
Okay. Top one or bottom one first on the right side?
I'm gonna go counterclockwise around this room, so we're gonna go to the bottom.
Okay. I like my eyes like cross when you were like bottom counterclockwise. Okay. You push open, you sort of like tentatively are like, is this open? And it, you know, super loud. And you there's so much dust. You're like, it smells super mildewy in here. You see that there is a iron cage that's important for you because, like, you know that fae creatures can iron is like their preferred like cage holdment, like how like silver's like bad for werewolves, like iron is bad for fae. So you see that like one is like
they're adamantium,
really, again, from like a rusty chain from the ceiling. It's not super big, like it definitely wouldn't fit you. It could totally fit Greb or Flubs.
Okay.
You see that there is like some cabinets and things. You see that there is like they're not you don't see like a lock, but you see that there is a next to a panel where there's like some levers, there is a hourglass sigil. And it's currently upside down, sand at the bottom.
When we're saying hourglass sigil, like it's not an actual hourglass. It's like a
no, it is an actual hour. Yeah, it's not it doesn't have like sand in it. It's just like it's almost like a metal lever sort of dealio.
Yeah, okay.
And the sand is like on the bottom right now. So it's like it looks like you could turn it, like how the levers you can pull it.
Yeah, that's right.
You go ahead and make a history check.
Okay. Oh, another thing about this space with the, like, you know, the cage and all. Does it look like kind of like a torture-y kind of room?
No, it just looks like there's a lot of bullshit in here. Like, again, like it's like and it also looks like no one's been in there a while.
Yes, I have a room like that in my house. It's where we put all the stuff that we don't know what to do. Okay, so that's Rick. That's a 3. Plus 4 for history. 7.
Not recognizing, but you're like, I don't know a single, like, nothing comes up for you on. You're like, hourglass. I know what that shape is.
This is the history of nothing, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
This room's devoid of all things interesting. I suppose that means I will move on.
Okay. You go to the top one.
Yes.
Oh, let me
Actually, wait. Before I move on, even though I don't have any like historical context, can I still try to maybe investigate the switchy, levery,
Sure,
hourglassy?
throw an investigation out there.
Just to kind of maybe find if perhaps it's got any sort of connection to something else in the vicinity.
Yeah, I'll let you take a...
That's a low 8.
No fucking clue.
Yeah.
Does not ring a bell for you at all. It's a pretty, like, you're like generic. Like, that could truly be anything. It doesn't really seem like to be like a fancy design or cognizant of like what a fae like symbol or crest would be. It does not spark your imagination.
Okay. All right. Let's continue around to the top right corner.
All right. You push open the top room, and you go in. You're like, okay, what fresh horrors await? And it's truly just like a room full of like fabric, ugly fabric. Lot of like really bad florals, very very weird colors. Really the only thing that is of note is a 2 like pin cushions, and they're kind of large. Like she's sort of like made like pin cushion dolls almost. One pincushion doll is like on a very small wooden rocking horse, and the other pincushion seems to have like, to the best of like you it's not made of fabric, the wings. It looks as if like they had been fashioned from either like a giant dragonfly or like something else that would have like wings of this like paperyness, and they're sort of like they're like ripped a little bit and whatnot. The dolls are not cute, and they don't have faces, but they do have like little outfits on them. One sort of like has like a ragdoll Anne like outfit, like a blue nightgown and like a white apron, and she rocks like a dirty white bonnet. And you see that the pincushion is like she's like bunched it up more than she needs to be. Like it's like textured. It's made of like a corduroy. And the other one with like the sort of like broken wings wears a mourning shawl, like as if she was like a widow in mourning, all black, and is in black robes.
This room's creepy as hell. Yeesh. Where do I start? Can I investigate the wings on this
Sure.
creepy winged one?
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Maybe I'll start. Hey, that's a 14 plus 1. I'll
Okay.
take one of that. I think I'm just trying to find out if there's any significance here.
You confirm that it's like organic material, and that it's very carefully recreated as if it was a real dragonfly's wings. Like time has been spent.
So this is just like a really good like artistic rendition. It's not like they ripped the wings off of something.
No, yeah, you think that the wings were ripped off something, and then like whoever made this spent a lot of time to recreate it.
I see. Yeah, because it's giving morbid for sure. Do I know, like, if would I recognize like what these wings would be based off of, or
I'll say with the 15, like you know without a doubt giant dragonfly, which
okay,
they're fairly common. You do condemn dragonflies to death. Like if they can't fly, like they can't really do anything else. So you're like, for sure, whatever, like these are dead dragonfly wings. Anything else in this room?
there were creepy faceless ones. Wait, we were talking about pincushions.
Yeah. So they're like pincushion dolls.
Like, is there anything special about the pins?
No, they just both have a lot of them in them. And there's a lot of pins in this room in general. Like, I think when the door scrapes back, like, you do hear, like, pins scrape across the floor. Like, it's in disarray. It's not an organized person. This does kind of explain, like, the mannequins that are pushed against the wall. I'll say that you definitely... You start being like, Flubs has been gone, like, a hot second. And you're like, I'm running... Like, you're like, I have to, like, make a decision on, am I gonna, like, sneak into another room, wildshape, or am I gonna wildshape now and, like, wait it out?
Okay. I think, real quick, I'll go to that final door. I think that it's only one door I haven't opened yet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna run over there. And I think it would be cool to wildshape as I'm opening the door.
Okay, totally. As you wildshape, again, door is not locked. The other rooms pale in comparison to how so fucking creepy this room is. First of all, a obscenely large horse's head, like, leers at you with, like, black glossy eyes, and, like, its, like, lips are kind of, like, drawn back, and has, like, yellow teeth. It is affixed to a wicker and wire, like, armature, and so it's sort of not an unfinished taxidermy dealio, and it faces right at the door, and you're like, oh god. The room smells like, I mean, dead animals, that, because you're like, oh, Bavlorna is, like, really into taxidermy. And you're like, I see where this transcended into the other thing. There's, like, half-used animal carcasses, like, kind of strewn over, like, all kinds of tools that are never been cleaned. And there are just, like, various animals in, like, various states of things. And, like, a lot of, like, ones that are, like, mounted on the wall, and, like, there's also, like, a shelf that's, like, almost, like, leaning. You can tell that she's, like, really into chimeras.
I do not like this room one bit. Are there any froggies, or are there any, like, things of the herpetology variety?
I will say... you do notice that she has to be the one that, like, enchants, because there's, like, all her old kings, like, beheaded on the spikes. She's obviously the one who, like, does that process. Because you can see, like, the spikes, like, preloaded in the room. You don't see any, like, parts. But you do see the exact kind of spike they're typically used. And you're like, okay. I'll say as you sort of are like, gross. Like, and a bunch of, like, flies start, like, swarming around, you hear footsteps come down the stairs, and it's King Gullop and Flubs. King Gullop is like, well, thank you so much for allowing me to indulge you for such a long time. Jeremiah!
Hey boy.
Here, boy.
So Jeremiah Riven hops over, but I still have that, like, acid burn, and so I'm kind of hopping in, like, an ouchie kind of way.
Okay. King Gullop sees that, and he's like, oh, Jeremiah, I'm so sorry. I really should have been more specific. Miss Bavlorna is into, like, a variety of interesting creatures. So, occasionally she does use the preservation pool as a gelatinous cube breeding ground. They must have been, like, in their cycle right now.
Ribbit.
I will, here you go. And he, like, pulls out a potion of healing and, like, just hands it to Flubs. And he's like, that should do the trick.
Perfect. I will give it to Jeremiah later. Thank you very much.
Alrighty. Well, Grumple and Bloff waiting downstairs for you. Take you to, wherever you're staying for the evening. And, well, I'll see you later. Ta-ta. And he just sort of... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Will Grumple back, whoever you said, will they be there tomorrow?
Listen, boys do whatever I tell them.
I think if Jeremiah and I are in the mood tomorrow, we might want to, see the sights around the lake. It would be useful to have, like, a boat that we could use for the day.
Okay, alright. Well, he reaches into his waistcoat and he pulls out a whistle. He's like, this will call the boys right to you.
Thank you very much.
A pleasure, Mr. Flubs.
It's so shiny.
It is a beautiful whistle.
I don't suppose you know where we could find Sir Illig, do you?
Oh, that stupid git. Well, listen, he normally hangs around. Let me check my notes. He usually hangs around. I know I know his apartment is, little bit, Big Barkless?
Nope.
All right. Well, listen. You tell Grumple and Bloff you want to go to Big Barkless. They'll take you right to him. I think he's got one of them real swanky condos out by the toadstool patch.
Toadstool patch. Good. Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. You guys get to step in, and Grumple and Bloff will take you wherever you wish. Where do you tell them?
I mean, back to Flubs, or back to Greb. So,
Okay.
I was also thinking that.
Probably back to the main island, because we don't know she went to Big Barkless.
Right. So yeah, you guys can absolutely be like, you did establish that home base is Ufgunks, and so you're like,
Yes.
some time has passed.
How did we get to the island? Did we walk like all the way around, or did we also take a ferry?
I think you were able to like get a random boat. Like
Get a
there
random-
are like some random boats around.
We commandeered one.
Yeah, strategically acquired.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, what do you think, Jeremiah? Do you think...
What time is it? How late in the day is it?
Oh, by now? Maybe we'll say it's at least been 2 hours, so 8 o'clock. It's definitely dark.
So is tomorrow killing day? I guess.
I think we should do stuff tonight. Do you think Greb would have gone back to Ufgunks? Or do you think she's looking for us?
If I have no need to be a frog anymore, it'd be easier to communicate.
Well, Grumple and Bloff are still with y'all, but we can be like, skip ahead. They drop you off, and you guys can decide either Sinking Palace or the other, or the other side.
I think the safer bet would be if there are just random boats and ferries. The safer bet would be the Sunken Palace then, to see if she's there,
Okay.
and then we can just take a ferry back.
Yeah, they take you to the Sinking Palace, and I mean, you don't see her. You guys can definitely, like, I would say you guys spend some time, like, looking for her, and you might even be like, Greb, Greb, like, just making sure none of the other bullywugs are her, right? Greb, you've long since, like, moved on, since this. We cut to Greb, basically, like, getting back to Ufgunks. You are so freaking tired. You've had a rough day. You get back. Clapperclaw is still like downstairs on his cement block, and like again doesn't have a face, but does turn towards you and just like clicks the lobster claws at you, and you're like, right. And you put pot down.
Hi. Lady
Morgort
what's her name?
napping.
Morgort. Yeah, she's sleeping.
She's sleeping. She's on the, you can see her on the couch. In fact, you realize that she did not take the upstairs bedroom because she does not want to be closer to Star, even though you're like, she's definitely asleep for at least 6 hours. Lady Morgort is like, don't trust it. I'll say you come in and like Lady Morgort sort of like, she is a like trained swordsman, so she's a light sleeper, and she kind of like blinks up, sees it's you, yawns. Oh, well, howdy.
Hi.
Damn, you look fucked up.
Yeah, well, I lost Flubs and Riven.
Oh, shit.
I don't know where they went.
What do you mean you don't know where they went?
I couldn't really follow them. They went on this boat with King Gullop, and they just floated away, and I had no way to follow
They
them.
could be
so
dead.
I didn't know what to do.
Oh my.
I have no way of finding them. I don't know what to do.
Really bad.
All right. How long ago was that?
I do. It was an hour or two ago.
Okay. And like of their own accord they left?
Yeah, and I haven't heard any, like, disruptions or, fighting sounds going on, so...
She pulls back the curtain to make sure that the cottage is not on fire, and she's like, it doesn't look like it's on fire. Okay.
Yeah. And I haven't seen any guards, like, running around worried, so I think they're probably still undercover. I just don't know where they are.
Okay.
Oh, but I figured out where Sir Illig is, though.
Okay. So, like, real
I don't
bad
know how
news
we're
and,
gonna
like,
kill him,
kind of
though.
good news. Okay. Well, where's Sir Illig?
He's at this tree called Big Barkless.
Right.
You know where that is?
Oh, you're serious.
Yeah.
Shit.
Why?
Well... So, he's not, like, really a tree. Like, he's not a treant. He's like, I think he used to be a treant.
Oh.
I think he but he's like real mean now.
It's a creature?
Yeah, and he's mean as hell. And on top of that, 4 nasty little sprites live, like, they have some kind of deal where they, like, live in his hollow. And they're mean too. Did someone tell you that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they just want you to get your ass whooped. It's like real common
Really?
hazing around here, yeah.
Well, he didn't seem like he was lying, but...
Well, I mean, I don't go over there a whole lot, just because I don't need that sort of energy in my life, but maybe the revolution is happening over there. We can check.
Well, so he lives in a treatment thing?
No, I think that's their secret meeting place because no one congregates over there.
Oh.
Yeah. If they're
Yeah,
actually
he
meeting
just
there
said-
and he doesn't want you to just get your ass whooped.
He said that they were meeting there.
Well, I'll be a Froggy's uncle. I mean, maybe.
That's all I know.
Well, alright. Listen, I think we should give the boys at least another 2 hours. And then we can panic, right? Like, they're competent.
Well, they said they're meeting at midnight, so...
We got time. Okay. Alright, well, dinner?
Sure.
And she just starts
Cut, let's start dinner.
Yeah. She like helps you with dinner, Clapper Claw, like cuts like sous chefs, and like you sort of are like
just like...
there's moments of every once in a while you're like super tense about the fact that you don't fucking know where Flubs and Riven are, and then you're sort of like, no, it's chill, they're good, and like the minutes tick on. Meanwhile, Riven and Flubs, you get to the Sinking Palace, you look around for Greb to no avail, you decide to get like a ferry back to Ufgunks because you're kind of just like, I don't know what else to do. And you get none other than Augustus. Again, giant ass straw hat, huge piece of grass in his mouth, super short crop top, short shorts, shoestring belt. Talks 800 miles a minute. He literally will not shut up about Jeremiah. He, oh my god, he is the most beautiful giant frog I have ever seen. And I've been around a long ass time. And listen, Blanc, he one of my good buddy, he one of my drinking buddies, and he tells me all about how he's like breeding this one, breeding that one, trying to get the perfect green. And this one is just beautiful. I should tell Blanc that he needs to start thinking about other colors. Oh, I absolutely have to introduce you to him. And he's just like scratching Riven like underneath like the throat and like and just literally asks you a million questions that like you definitely don't he's like, so when did you get him?
2 years ago.
Oh, okay. So he's the perfect age. Well, I see. And did you get him from a reputable breeder? What part of the Feywild is he from?
Oh, family friend down in Tree Spoke.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
that's
take my
far.
2 back legs and I rub them on my back and then apply it because, like, you know, the frogs, they have like the sunscreen, like.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah, for sure. Oh, and he's so smart. Look at that flexibility. And he's like full
I know
like
it's nighttime, but I'm doing it anyway.
He's full you know, you guys ever watch cat shows and they're just like manhandling the cats and it's like, look how long they are. He's like pulling out your leg and he's like, my goodness. And look at the ombre on the on the leg there. That's wow. I'm gonna have to tell Blanc all about you. What was your name, honey?
Oh, Jeremiah.
Oh, so Jeremiah.
He's junior.
Oh, that is just darling. Okay. Well, I'll have to let you go, but I will see you at the wedding. All right, bye now. He is rowing the boat. Again, boat real rocky. Tons of water in the bottom of the boat.
That was a very nice boat ride, and I enjoyed it very much.
He gives you like, he gives you a treat before you leave.
Is it a fly?
It's definitely like some kind of fly candy, and you're like, oh.
Chocolate-covered flies. Yeah.
Absolutely. You guys
Do you
like...
have more than one of those?
Oh yeah, got a whole fanny pack right here. He has a full like 1980s fluorescent fanny pack that he buckles on. It does not hit jean or top. Just on the midrib.
Yep. Hey, we'll gingerly kind of slip one out.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, have a nice day. I'll see you in a couple days. Bye. You guys make your way, Riven with ease, because you're a frog, so you're just sort of like jumping along. Flubs with you're kind of like cursing your small stature at this point. Remember when you were a big dragonborn. But you guys eventually get to Ufgunk's like about, I'm gonna say an hour-ish, maybe a little bit more after Greb gets back. Just at the point where like, Greb, you're like maybe starting to think about having a panic attack soon. But literally like the oven dings and then you guys hear the doorbell and like you jump twice.
You get the door, I'll get the oven.
All right. You guys just see like one big ass bullywug like eye like through the peephole and then
Run, building, I'm sorry.
nope. It's the damn boys. And she opens it up and you guys see Lady Morgort, who like it doesn't have her armor on but does have an apron on. She just like looks at you guys and she's like, oh well, I mean you guys look marginally better than
You're
Greb.
alive.
Oh,
Yeah, I shed my frog. I'm normal now.
Where have you been?
Oh my god, what happened? You look terrible.
Ew. I didn't know what to do, and you guys were gone, and...
Oh. Yeah, that wasn't really part of the plan, but we learned a lot. We should really talk.
Okay, yeah, let's all have dinner and you can tell everything you learned.
You want candy?
Where did you get that from?
This really talkative guy on a boat, but he had like this hard candy with like something inside. Could be like a prize or something.
I don't think you should eat that.
It's fanny pack candy. It's completely safe.
This is fine. It looks cool too, so I'm gonna keep it.
It's your funeral, I guess, whatever. Okay.
All right, soup's on. Now, normally that's a phrase, but there actually is soup. So here you go. She like ladles you guys up some soup. It's for sure. It's like it's very like greasy soup. You guys did your best to like use the purple worm meat and like grab your sort of like, okay, not every part of it is like super poisonous, and you're like, you were real careful about it, but it did make the soup like a very like uncomfortable purple color.
Still edible.
Totally edible.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a nice shade of purple, actually, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's a spicy.
Like, you know, those purple carrots?
Those are good.
Carrots can be purple.
Yeah.
Is eating this gonna turn me purple? That's what I want to know.
I don't believe so.
I think you look good in purple.
Who, me?
Oh,
Or-
I mean, maybe you too. I was talking about Riven though.
Yeah,
Like
he
with those
would look
purple
good in purple.
scales. Mm-hmm.
I guess I can see it, but I'd prefer not to be. Oh, bottoms up.
It's not bad. So it is spicy. It's like a spicy soup.
Do like.
Lady Morgort really went through Greb's spices.
Yeah, it's sort of like the purple wyrmling like goes such a strong flavor that it's like, and it was gonna make the soup spicy anyway, so you just like, oh well, we whole hogged it.
If it's a worm, part of me feels like it'd be kind of rubbery, like an octopus
It's not
or something.
Yeah, that is the texture.
It's seafood.
It's like a seafood soup.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the best thing you've ever had. It's definitely not the worst thing you've ever had. Flubs, you've had
I've
worse.
I mean, I've had like lizards that were better than this, but like it's pretty good. Not too bad. It's a little chewy.
What'd you learn?
Oh, yeah. We talked to soon to be King Gullop. That's a mouthful. And he was like, oh, because we were like, the Illig's like super bad and he wants to take your place and like all that, like we discussed. And he didn't really seem surprised. It seemed like he was happy to hear that, which was a little weird, but like he was like, oh, we should discuss this somewhere more private. And I thought it was like gonna be away from the people there and just like in a side room. But no, then we got on a boat and it felt weird to be like, I don't wanna go on a boat, let's just talk here, but I didn't say anything. And we went to like this place out in the lake. There's like this big house, but like super dirty. Like even from my standards, it was nasty in there. Now this like big pool with like really sick looking water. Not important. It had 3 stories and
Well, it's very important. That water burned me.
Did you go swimming? Why would you go swimming in the water? That looked disgusting.
I was the frog. I jumped on a lily pad. You can't blame me. That's what frogs do.
Can I look at Lady Morgort and just be like, does that sound familiar to you?
Well, I did mention that Bavlorna's like thing is like she's really into taxidermy, and so she sometimes will get exotic animals and then like try and breed them and then like release them into the wild. So I 100,000% think that she's like probably being real weird with gelatinous cubes. I mean, those things multiply like crazy and get out of here.
Yeah, that's what Gullop said, and it made me think about like the oops ball we had, because that has a gelatinous cube in it. Like maybe it's related, maybe it's a coincidence, but
I actually think all gelatinous cubes are related. It's like a sourdough starter.
it's like goblins. Like all of them know each
That's
other.
a great theory. I'll have to research that.
Yeah. Just a one small conspiracy. Anyway,
Not important.
not important. Although it must be mating season for them, because that pool is not a gelatinous cube at all times, to my knowledge.
Oh. That's a little scary.
So you
But-
were in her house.
Yeah, like apparently like Bavlorna lives there. I think she's on like the 3rd floor because that's like off limits, you know. But we went to the study and we had a conversation with Sir Mr. I don't know his title, Mr. Gullop, and we were being like super vague and being like, oh, Illig's bad and like, can you help us because he wants to kill you so like we can kill him. And then he came out of nowhere and was like, I don't want to be here, I want to live in like a big pool, whatever that means. And he wants to like, he wants to go to Alderheart, wherever that is. I think, Riven, are you from there? I think I remember that.
I think I remember that.
I don't actually remember if I told them, but I might have.
Yes.
I feel like you did.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
That name has been
Right.
So yes.
But not like not a whole lot. Just like I'm from there.
You definitely did not mention why you're here.
Yeah, there's some other stuff.
He must be a snake or something. It's fine.
But yeah, no, yeah, I am from there. Yeah, like remember when I told you?
Yeah, totally.
Totally, nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about there. Totally normal place.
He wants to marry Bavlorna and then go to Alderheart?
No,
I don't think he wants to marry Bavlorna.
Yeah, I don't think he likes her at all. And so we were like, cool. We understand each other. I think we can make a deal. And then I was going to be like, well, I'll talk to you later because I have to talk to my friends.
I think
Flubs, please tell me you did not make a deal.
Well, we're gonna kill her anyway. Like, I don't understand, like,
Oh.
it's
I tried.
fine.
I tried to make frog eyes. Yeah.
Is that what you were doing? thought
I
that was
just
one of the
look at
eyeballs.
Lady Morgort like, why are men like this?
Yeah. She also looks at you like, well, okay, hold on. No, what was the specific? He just said, I think we understand each other, and you shook on it?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Okay, well, what was your understanding of it that has that affects it?
Oh, well, I thought he was like, oh, I have to, like, stay here because, like, something magical's going on, and, like, I have to marry Bavlorna, and I can't leave to go to the pool without, like, you know, something happening. I was like, God, Bavlorna has to go so he can leave. Got it. That's kind of what I was thinking, but
Alright.
there was a lot of things there, so
I mean-
I don't know.
Ugh, yeah, that's not the... It's not the best Fey pact I've ever heard of, but like, I mean, you didn't say that you would kill her, or like
That is
that
true.
we would kill her, just that she needed to be taken care of. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think you at least have to like assist, but like as you said, we are kind of already doing that. But that not Flubs. No, don't shake on anything.
I was fine. He wasn't gonna let us leave, and like he seemed really cool, and like he gave us a tour of the house, and like showed us where all the balconies were. And I have this whistle now, super shiny. I'm gonna keep this afterwards. But like, if I use this I don't know the verb for whistling. I don't know. If I use this whistle like tomorrow, then like we could get a boat and we could just sail right there. Which is pretty nice because he's not gonna be there tomorrow. Cause like there's some tradition where like the bride can't see the groom or something. I don't know, it seems a little weird.
Sure. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, he set you up to succeed, I guess. So at least, okay.
I had a wild idea.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Well, so you found this baby purple worm, right, Lady Morgort? So there's probably some bigger ones around.
She gets a dark look on her face. Uh-huh.
It would be kind of cool if we could get one to chase us, and then we just lead it straight to her palace, and it eats her, and then that's that.
Oh. So many things wrong with that.
What do you mean?
All of you can make either a. We'll say intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Disadvantage for Grebs and Flubs.
I feel nothing wrong with this plan whatsoever.
Okay, I see.
I rolled a 19.
Okay.
You said what check is it again?
Intelligence.
21.
With disadvantage?
Yeah, I rolled
Okay.
a 16 and 17.
Okay.
I got +5.
You guys, so I mean, part of the reason why Greb is like, this is a good plan, is because you do know that about purple worms enough to be like, they're crazy dangerous. And that they're not, you don't need to like bargain with them. Like they are kind of just like instinctual. The thing that and they're very fast. They're very large and they're very fast. Greb, while you're like, this plan is amazing, you do know that they are considered like a full-blown purple worm is a gargantuan monstrosity. That's like how, like, they are. A full-grown purple worm would be like probably able to eat that 3-story building. Like, big. So
That would do it.
I mean, that would do it, but would probably also result in like the complete destruction of this entire area and almost for show get yourselves killed. Riven, you know for sure that purple worms are insanely dangerous and they are very fast. And that they are very large.
With my intelligence check, would I be able to guesstimate if I could fit a whole purple worm in an oops ball or not?
Ooh.
Because
Yeah,
if we just caught it and like released it, and then when it comes at us, we just, you know, oops it
Like
back
a-
into the ball.
Okay.
3-step plan. I see nothing wrong with any of
See,
those
nothing wrong with
steps.
this. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I will say that the oops ball, as it is currently engineered, has a not like a weight limit, but like a size limit, right? So let me
I'd
look
have
at
to.
you would have to like engineer one specifically, and it's gonna be damn hard. I'm not saying that you can't do it or that you don't have the supplies. I'm saying it's
Probably
gonna be
take a while.
really hard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say the process of like finding one and like not just having it instantly eat you, pretty difficult. They have tremor sense, and they're just and they're very like they just hang out
Well,
to wait.
what about like a baby one?
Right. Okay, so
Can they-
purple
can
so
they swim?
Wyrmling, you know, I was able
Yeah.
to barely escape with my life with one. So I'd like our odds a little bit, you know, 4 on 1. I mean, they usually hatch in like a cluster, so that's not out of the thing. I'm saying it is suicide to go after a big one.
Okay, well maybe we get a little one.
Sure. That is
And we stick
absolutely
it
more
on
doable.
Bavlorna.
That is definitely more doable. And you say you already have a gelatinous cube?
Yeah.
All right. And, I mean, in theory, we have a displacer beast.
Would I know if I will be able to make our reusable oops ball within the time frame that we have?
You know, gonna be kind of close.
I mean,
You're already exhausted, so you have to sleep. You have to sleep tonight. I would say this is gonna take up a lot of your time to like. You could definitely get one done in like a decent like tinkering time. But engineering multiples to the standard that you need them to, especially like if you do multiples, there is a risk of like one of them being less quality than the other ones, right? Like,
We wouldn't need multiple though, right? Like we would just catch the worm, throw it at Bavlorna, let it eat her, catch it again, release it somewhere else, and then we just put Star in and leave.
true. I
Having
mean,
two would be nice though.
yeah,
but
I mean, you could have a backup one, but let's focus on one. How about that? I love your confidence.
You're good at engineering. Maybe you could help me.
Sure. Yeah. I don't doubt your abilities. I just think we are cutting it close for like how many things we have to do. Like we have like at least one murder we have to complete.
Maybe even 2 at this point. I can't. I
Well,
lost track.
maybe we should split into teams, a murder team and a research team.
But tonight, I feel like we should all go for the murder. And then sleep, and then reconvene tomorrow, maybe?
I don't know how much help I'm gonna be with murder right now.
Well, I slept. So I at least got a short rest. Flubs, you look kind of fucked up. Riven, you look fine.
Fine, I'm just a little tired.
Okay. Well, I mean, you look fine, except some of the scales on your feet are like kind of crispy, and a couple of them are like missing. Oh, now you look fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's normal.
Right.
Oh, I learned from Gullop where Sir Illig is. He's at like this tree, like big lacking big barkless or something. And like the toadstool.
I was
hat.
right!
Well, I'll be a froggy's uncle.
See, I told you!
Maybe he really is meeting over there, and that is just absolutely crazy town. Well,
Big Barkless.
all right, well, listen. I think he probably has struck some kind of deal with Big Barkless, and he probably has those nasty little sprites on his side, too. So it's not exactly going to be like you sneak up on him and get him. Like, he's obviously holed up there because he's got a little bit of home turf advantage, literally.
Not good.
Okay. Maybe Lady Morgort, you maybe lead the attack, and like maybe me and Flubs could just help from
I mean,
a
you
distance.
still got time for a short rest, right? They'll help you out, right?
That would be good.
I mean, it'd make this purple worm poison stop hurting, but
Oh, there's something, honey.
I'd still be really tired.
Well,
I mean, if we don't deal with him tonight, then we're gonna have to deal with him tomorrow. But if we deal with him tomorrow,
you don't know
and
where
then
he's
also,
gonna be.
And there's
yeah, well, I mean,
Dense
also,
over-
we
and-
kind of want to deal with
Right.
Bavlorna tomorrow. I mean, if we don't do it tomorrow, then it's gonna be at the wedding.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Alright, let's go get him, and I'll do what I can, I guess.
All right. Naps and things all around. It's like go ahead.
Eating dinner count as a short rest?
Yeah, I'll definitely let. So it's like 9 o'clock right now. So
Okay.
you have about 3 hours. Greb, you can totally get some tinkering in, or you guys can get like some preparations in for some other things. And I'll also, of course, let either Riven or Lady Morgort help you with checks. Flubs, I'm gonna say that your help doesn't count as much because you're.
Sounds about right. It's not. Don't sugarcoat it. It's not because I'm exhausted.
It's also because you're stupid. Like...
Yeah. There we go.
Well, okay, if I have time for tinkering, it'd be really cool if I could finish the scale mail armor, and then Flubs can wear that.
Yeah, it's 75% done?
Yeah, 75%.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't wear medium armor.
Oh.
I don't think you can still apply your full dexterity with this armor.
I don't have proficiency in medium
You need
armor.
proficiency with...
With the type of armor, yeah.
Yeah, to use it.
And I think Riven can't use metal armor because he's a druid. Can you use medium armor?
I have a medium armor proficiency, yes.
It says, this
Oh,
suit
but
of
it's metal.
magic armor is made from shimmering scales. While wearing it, you can apply your full dexterity modifier instead of maximum +2 when determining your AC. In addition, this armor doesn't impose disadvantage on your dex or stealth checks.
Cool.
What kind of armor is it?
Yeah, I mean scale mail is medium,
Well, it's like
but I think you could use it.
magic, though.
I know, but it's still
Wait, let
medium
me-
armor.
Yeah, okay.
Because we made this up. So I will say
Yeah.
it is a homebrew.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, I mean it's entirely up to you. I'm not the DM.
okay, so
You say a
I'm
word.
going to justify this. I'm going to justify this right now. This was armor blueprints that was sent to Greb by her mom, and she specializes in small folk armor. So part of this is that she takes like things and makes it smaller. So I'm literally gonna be like, no, this was made to scale of small folk.
I've also been working on it with the whole intention.
The intention that you were gonna wear it.
Too.
I do think
Okay.
that. So we will.
Because I keep seeing Flubs getting hurt, and my AC is fine. So I was like, Flubs needs this more than I do.
It's 75% done, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me that tinkering check, and we'll say it takes you the full, basically up until you have to leave.
And it's just a straight roll?
It is your intelligence
Lady
plus
Morgort.
proficiency, and it is straight because of Lady Morgort or Riven can give you advantage. I should make a on your character sheet. You can make a
I have a tinkering.
Okay, you have a tinkering one. Yeah, it should be your intelligence plus your
plus 8.
proficiency.
Yeah.
I learned this session that Greb is taller than me.
Oh, really? That's so cute.
Yeah.
Well,
Flubs
you're
is
a
3'2".
baby.
Just a baby.
I'm just like 2 inches taller than you.
Yep.
19.
Okay. You're like scrambling. You're so freaking tired. Lady Morgort occasionally will like come over and like gently like rub your back, and you'll be like, oh yeah. But you're like literally putting finishing touches on right up until the point where like Lady Morgort's like, all right, we gotta suit up and go, because it does take you guys like 10 minutes to get into the armor. Greb, go ahead and describe your finished, perfectly made just for Flubs, beautiful chainmail, and like what ingredient qualities it reflects.
So it's magical serpent scale armor. It was made with mermaid scales. So I feel like it's probably a little like iridescent. Maybe almost gives a little bit of a camouflage effect, because it'll reflect like the environment's colors that you're around.
Mm-hmm.
Which is how it kind of helps with stealth and stuff. And it's not very jingly. Bit more.
It has like
it's
a water
waterproof.
sound almost. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's Palasha's like mermaid scales, so it's like the most beautiful mermaid scales you've ever seen. And like you're like, ooh.
Yeah. Almost looks more like a piece of artwork than armor. Here you go, Flubs, for you.
Flubs is napping.
He wakes
Flubs,
up.
wake up!
What?
We're
What?
leaving soon. Here, put this on.
Oh,
Does it smell like fish?
No.
It
Greg's
probably
been working
smells
at
like oil
Yeah,
and
it's like
like,
it smells like new leather, like that fresh
Yeah.
car scent. Like you're just like, ooh,
yeah.
beautiful. Like
Yeah. New car smell. Yes.
I will slip into it.
it. I would say to us, it probably feels like that Lord of the Rings, like the mithril, like chain shirt almost. Is the most thing I could akin it to.
Very liquidy. Easy
We'll do
to
like
move in.
a test somersault front flip thing. Like,
whoa. This is
You
pretty
look great.
cool. Did you make this?
I did.
Oh.
My mom sent me some blueprints to work on.
Oh. That's cool.
Yeah. And it's Palasha's scales, so it's like mermaid armor.
Palasha.
Remember the mermaid?
Oh, yeah. I'm wearing her scales.
Sorta, yeah.
That's weird. Okay.
It's more like the essence of her scales. If that makes sense, but...
Nope.
Okay, well...
Nope.
Watch this, though, and I'll hit you. It, like, won't run off.
Okay, roll to attack.
You stabbed me.
Riven, you're like you wake up from your like old man nap and you just see Greb fully just sock like Flubs.
What is the base AC?
Well, the base is 14.
The 14, and then I can add my full dex.
Yeah.
Dex
Yeah.
modifier. Okay.
It was a 12,
Oh
and it's
no.
plus 0. So...
Nope.
Ow! See, it totally works.
Careful, why would you do that?
I wanted to show
As I
you.
woke up and I was like seeing the fists fly, I was like, oh, what the fuck? Are we fighting? Are we fighting each other now?
Soon,
Is it?
almost.
Oh, that is a very nice.
How handsome
looking
he
piece of
is.
armor. Well done, Flubs. How did you afford such a nice piece of armor?
I didn't buy it. Greb made it for me.
You made this.
I did make it. Yep, all me.
Wow, that is.
All
that
by
is
myself.
most impressive.
Riven, make me a history check.
It has the essence of mermaids, whatever that means.
Oh no! I got a 6.
Damn.
Wow, that was not expected.
All of your like past 6 rolls have been under a 10.
so bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up, like the quality is insane. Like you're like, okay, like Greb can make potions like nobody's business from trash, but like the quality and the just like the design. I mean the silence of the mail on Flub's like own scales is one makes if you're close enough a very pleasing sound, but from like more than a few feet is silent. Really truly you have not seen quality in that design in a long time.
Yeah. This is something else that we're talking about. You know, the sort of quality of work. It comes around only once in maybe a generation or two. It's remarkable. I have no higher compliment for it.
Aw, thanks. Well, I did come from a pretty great generation of artificers and smiths, so guess it runs in the family.
Well, if this is any indication of where your skill set is headed, keep it up. I'll be impressed and looking forward to seeing what you come up with next. Every time is a bit surprising. It's great.
Well, maybe I can make you do something next time.
I would be
Maybe
I'd be
something
happy
that helps with luck.
to support. Yeah, that could help me quite a bit at it, I imagine. I'm still using the owl bear, so it's quite nice
Good.
for more of this
Glad it's working for you.
old man soreness that plagues all of us over 30.
All right, Flubs, you look great. Let's go.
Like, it's even got my maker's mark, like, in the collar.
Oh. Cool.
Greb, what is your maker's mark? What do you think your like
It's a-
brand?
It
like,
definitely
logo-
has... It definitely has
have
a
a
little
pot.
cauldron in it.
That's what I thought too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bubbling cauldron.
I think... yeah, it's a little cauldron, and then... There's probably, like, a circle with a G in it, like a fancy, cute little G. For, like, Greb Ubog.
Yes.
And then the cauldron
amazing.
around it.
So cute.
Yeah.
So cute. Yeah, it's very nice. Like Really, you really haven't seen anything like that, like, since your youth. And, like, Alderheart, you know, it's not really the city it used to be, so there is a lot, like, there's just a lot less craftsmen and, like, notable figures, because, Alderheart's a little stagnant. Like, they don't have they sort of isolated themselves, in the response of what happened after the Archfey fell. Your queen Tatiana decided to shut down the borders, and
Moved after for a little bit, huh?
the fires raged on, and you guys are isolated.
Yep.
Alright, let's go murder a frog, man.
Do you want, like, free branding? Like, should I put this mark on, like, people's houses so they, like, see it?
Oh no, it only goes on the things that I've made. It's a maker's mark.
Oh.
Like my signature for completing my work and letting everyone know, hey, Greb Umag made this.
Oh. Does
It's
it, like,
not, it's
play a
different from a
method
logo.
template?
A logo would be like what you're talking about.
Oh.
This is like my signature.
Like, just signing it?
Yes.
Guys begin to walk over, and you talk on the way. Lady Morgort's of the mindset that the best plan of attack would be to wait in the toadstool patch until closer to midnight. Now, there are rumors that the toadstool patch is haunted or what, but that's I think that's all
Haunted?
bullywug nonsense. Oh yeah.
Like, ghosts?
Yeah, some people think it's ghosts. Other people think it's sirens.
Both scenarios sound highly unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all.
No, ghosts are weird. Like, sometimes they steal your socks.
I don't think that's quite right.
That's what Kettlesteam said. She said, like, always keep your socks in the cupboard. So, like, if you leave them out, then the ghost will steal them.
I see. Yeah, you know what?
Sock goes.
She's right.
Ah, that's what I'm
Super
saying.
Yep.
Riven, go ahead and just make me one more history check.
Ghosts do steal socks, you're right.
I see
That's where they all went. Ah, finally.
No wonder. I was wondering where they all went.
That explains so much. 12 plus 4, 16.
16. You, the Greb's last name, which you've, I think, only heard one, maybe a other times, kind of like scratches a little back piece of your brain, that, you remember when you were, like, real young. You went out shopping for armor with the first time with your father. And your father was a very discerning man, very, like, stern man. Not necessarily a warm and cuddly man, but he showed affection by, like, taking you to do things and showing you how things were done. So he was like, today I'm gonna show you how to buy armor. And he's like, you don't cheap out on your armor, go to the best. And there was only one craftsman store in all of Alderheart that really fit the top of the line standards that your dad had. And it was called Zeerbogs, which and you're like, Oobog, Zeerbog, you're like, huh. And you just remember, and like kind of just based on like the detail that Greb had in the chainmail, Greb's not obviously as skilled as like her mom would be, but the idea and the flow is very similar. So while the intricacy isn't there, it just tickles you like in a way where you're like, oh, that kind of reminds me of this, that. And not everyone would make that connection, but you just sort of like, it just brings back a memory of like a day you had with your father, and you sort of remember it and you're like, huh. That was a long time ago.
But I think it's been a weird day. From seeing that map to now having this sort of like synapse firing, like this long buried memory that I wasn't expecting to have come to the front of my mind. I think it's probably it's probably going to affect like how I perceive Greb. I think in a more significant way, like just that little bit of connective tissue, I think is like subconsciously like building on the bond that's there, because I'm making like also a little bit of connection to my own past. So
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not something you can really put a finger on or put into words, but it's just sort of one of those, like, you kind of feel it in your gut.
You recognize that Greb has the talent to back up her, like she can walk the walk and talk the talk. Like, she does have the skill sets that she thinks she has. And that does not just come from random, like, bolts of lightning, right? Like, you know, just because, you know, you learned a lot from your father, you kind of put like a whole lot on like family, right? And you're like, no, I think this is a pretty clear indication that like Greb had a certain amount of attention given to her, and that someone obviously spent time teaching her and cared about her having a craft at this level.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just kind of like silently making like some connections in your mind, and you definitely see Greb in a slightly different light. I think that Greb at this point like doesn't necessarily, I don't want to say not respect, but like definitely doesn't think as highly of you as you think of her in this moment. I don't know if
that totally makes sense.
Yeah. So you kind of like,
he probably definitely doesn't see me as a little kid anymore.
No, I think, yeah, like he, you know, is like, oh, and you know, Flubs is still figuring, like, talking about sock ghosts and things. You're like, right. You really see the difference between, while they were both cared for, Greb was obviously afforded opportunities and is a lot farther in her path than you or Flubs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and kind of like stepping back from being in character, like the irony of like Greb's like masterful like display of talent versus like me peeing on the lilypad and like burning myself.
Yeah.
Right, like there's just like a whole level of position there
Yeah.
that cannot be avoided.
Yeah.
Because like
you understand
Riven's like,
Greb's level of
look at me,
intelligence.
but right, but it's like the roles are completely opposite.
Yeah. You guys approach the toadstool patch. Bit of a misnomer. This is more like toadstool forest. Huge, massive mushrooms of all, and like big ones that are like kind of like hanging over the nearest hut to like small ones underfoot. It honestly, what it seems like is like maybe a wizard or something at some point like went a little haywire, and this is like maybe a slightly unnatural toadstool patch at this point. It's gotten a little out of control.
Mickey Mouse at it again.
And it's works perfectly well as a hiding area.
Well, some of us are good at hiding.
Yes, everyone can make me a stealth check.
Love to make a stealth check.
I'm gonna get up real quick, but we're almost ending, so.
Okay.
Oh, sweet. Another decent
Well,
roll.
Even with the armor.
Wow,
Roll
you went
advantage.
above a 10 this time!
It is possible.
It is possible!
He does exist. They do exist.
You still have disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
Still has.
Although you did get a short rest, so those of you who are missing health, you can probably use hit die.
Yeah,
you
I
did
just
not.
rolled 3
I-
of them.
I used 2, and I maxed out on my druid hit die, which was a d12 plus 2.
Whoa.
Okay.
Your barbarian one. Nice.
So like
Nice.
I'm back at full health, which was
Nice.
Although
That
I think I
owlbear
did
salve is
spend...
bitchin'.
Wait, does wildshape cost a spell slot?
It's cost a wild shape. A lot. Okay, 13 stealth for
But
Greb.
I think you get wild shapes back on a short rest, to be fair.
Alright.
So
Yeah, you
As
do.
a moon druid.
Mhm.
Or no, I think regularly, right?
I think regular.
Yeah. I learned that
Oh, yeah, 'cause I only
recently.
had
No one
Just
has,
had
no one has
two.
passed without a trace, right? Like,
It's 2 per
Who
short
needs
rest.
it?
Nope.
well, Lady Morgort
I'm
got
full
2.
up.
Oh, well,
So,
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
that's right, she's not stealthy either. I only got a 16.
okay.
She's playing it around. What did Pot get?
Does Pot need to make stealth checks?
Pot is being carried.
Pot's being okay,
He's
so we
little.
got a 13, a 16, and what'd you get, Riven?
I already forgot. I got a. I think
16.
it was 7. I think it was 17 minus 1. Or yeah.
Dirty 16. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are not stealthy. It's I think you guys are 1, still talking. 2, Greb starts getting real excited about how many mushrooms are in here, and it's like, oh. And Lady Morgort just like her armor's really loud. And you guys still have like some time before they get here. So but you are not hidden. You are if any walked by at this time, they'd be like, people are in there. Everyone go ahead and make me a perception check.
Perception.
Okay.
Disgrace. Is that what we're doing?
Yep. People as plain as the sky. Another
Why
13.
is that the best, like, straight to home movie?
It's
I'm
a
not
It was
gonna-
a really
4
good
in
movie.
total.
Oh.
I was supposed to get a 12, but it flopped, and now it's a 10. It went. Ding.
So who had the highest roll?
I had 13.
13?
Which I think sounds like the highest.
Okay.
Yep.
Greb, you definitely, I'll say you mosey a little forward, because you're like, ooh, mushrooms. And you get to a point where you're like just out of, immediate talking range of everyone, and you do hear, music. You hear some kind of like flute. The saddest flute you've ever heard. The most melancholy.
Oh. Can I look for where it's coming from?
Yeah, I'll say you. It's definitely deeper into the toadstool patch.
Yeah, I'll sneak over there.
Sure. Go ahead and do you alert the others, or you just sneak forward?
I think I wouldn't want to alert them, because it'd just be distracting and they're like setting stuff up. And
Got you. Okay, yeah.
I'm just curious about like who's playing that music.
I'm looking at my new whistle.
Make another stealth check.
All of us?
Nah, just her.
Just go. Got it.
You guys in here?
16.
You sort of like cautiously push through some of the toadstools, and you think it's like, oh, it's just right over here. It's just right over here. And you do that like a couple times until you're like at the point where like the toadstool forest is like pretty thick. But the music is getting louder and louder. Go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
Yes!
Do
Flubs isn't responsible this time!
He's like, yes! Ha ha!
do I have a disadvantage on saving throws?
Oh, I guess not.
Okay.
I mean, not from exhaustion.
Yeah.
We found the actual.
Could have it from other things.
14.
Okay. You feel cold, like you shiver a little, and you go to like just like kind of like rub your elbows a little bit, and you get like a very overwhelming sense of I miss home. I miss my mom. And it like hits you really hard. The tune almost changes to your ear to reflect a more like traditional goblin song, and you just have a deep yearning. Like you're like, I want to go home right now. If a teleport opened in front of me and my mom was on the other side, I would jump through and like leave my friends. And you feel like a tear begin to form. And you sort of like go to lean against a mushroom stalk, and out in between the mushrooms, a very slender, pallid, almost like blue-skinned, dark jet black hair, very tall elven woman like steps out of the mushroom forest. The music cuts as you see that she pulls like a pan flute away from her lips, and she looks at you and she's like, "What's up?"
She says sup.
She says sup. And that's where we're gonna end.
Sup.
Like a sup.
That's
Hey,
probably
girl.
fine.
What's up?
Probably just wants your socks. That's fine.
Yeah, just my socks. It's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine.
All right, my friend. Short but very sweet, and we'll
Yay.
come back to this time in just one hot second. Love how Greb was like, "Stop touching things," and then was like, "Oh, I hear crazy music. Let me go look." I don't tell anyone about it.
Well, Pot's with me at least.
Pot's with you. Pot's with you. Oh yeah, that's
Pot's with me. I'm not alone. I'm
Yeah.
fine.
Pot just wants to go home too.
Yeah.
Everything's
yeah. He's a sad Pot.
I got stuff
Yeah, so.
in my backpack.
All right. We'll come back to murder a questionable amount of people next time. All right.
they're gonna get
Bye-bye.